read our opening statement. Due to health and safety concerns related to the COVID-19 coronavirus, this meeting will be conducted by video conference or telephone call. At least a quorum of the board will be participating by video conference or telephone call in accordance with the provisions of section 551.125 or 551.127 of the Texas Government Code that have not been suspended by order of the governor. In accordance with those suspended rules, we certify that all other meeting procedures will adhere to board-adopted procedures to the extent practicable. At this time, we will roll call the trustees in order to verify the virtual participation of each board member. Trustee, when your name is called, please acknowledge your participation in this meeting by stating present or here. Ann Haynes, District 1. Trina Stafford, District 2. I, Kim Butcher, District 3 and present. Tish Woodruff, District 4.
Here.
Mike Rackley, District 5.
Here.
Aletha Cruz, District 6. Here. Roger Livingston, District 7.
Here.
It has now been established that although members of the board may not be gathered in a central location, we do have a quorum in attendance. This meeting has been duly called and notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with law. As such, I hereby call this meeting of the Greenville Independent School District Board of Trustees to order at 12:32. Okay. We will have our invocation from Pastor Micah Johnson, Bethlehem Baptist Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
My name is Pastor Micah D. Johnson, a senior pastor at Bethlehem Missionary Baptist Church. I want to offer us a word of prayer before we get started. Dear Lord, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for an opportunity to be in your presence. Lord, you know all the trauma and the concerns that are going on in our world that plague our kids in our school district. And we pray that as our staff come together to discuss ideas and options and many different ways to continue excellence in education, we pray that you would give us the guidance, the knowledge, the clarity of thought, the peace of mind. Lord, we know that we can't do anything without you. So we pray that you would give us everything we need. Have your way. In Jesus the Christ's name, I pray. Amen.
The pledge from Belinda Hughes, second grade class at Lamar.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Pastor Johnson and Ms. Hughes and your precious kiddos. Okay, we're moving on to item 2, recognition of Greenville ISD birthday card artist, Jenna Wade.
Thank you, Dr. Butcher. So President Dr. Butcher, Dr. Liggins, and members of the board, it is my honor to present to you our student recognition for this month. Jenna Wade, also related to Amy Wade of our office, but that was a coincidence, has been chosen as this year's birthday card winner. I'm holding the card in my hand. Jenna and Billy Shiflett, her art teacher, have joined us, and I wanted to give them a moment to speak, for Jenna to tell the story about what inspired this artwork, and for Mr. Shiflett to describe his art program and talented Jenna Wade. Jenna, why don't we start with you, please?
Inspired me to paint the lion is I put and go game day, my grandma would and they were all you're in every color in the rainbow, and just I don't know, showed more about being a colors.
So I think Jenna's connection is a little iffy, but she also told us a story which we included on the back of the card. And Jenna's also a volleyball player, and her grandmother Judy Tarpley would send her a lion that she'd color on her phone app before every game to inspire Jenna to get up there and play volleyball and score some points. So she used every color in the rainbow, and Jenna was inspired by her grandmother. Thank you, Jenna. And Mr. Shiplet. Mr. Shiplet, I see your name. If you could unmute. Maybe he's not able to speak, but I do want to say on his behalf that the art program at the high school is outstanding, and Mr. Shiplet does a wonderful job of encouraging our young student artists. And he says that Jenna is an outside the box thinker. So thanks to both of you. Let's give Jenna a round of applause.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jenna. All right, moving on to this month's Hero of Hope.
Miss Butler is our November Hero of Hope.
This is my dream job, something I never dreamed that I would accomplish. I grew up in Greenville and I was a Flash and I was a Flash officer, and it was just something we all said that we would like to do one day, and never in a million years did I ever dream that it would be mine. And watching the girls grow and become beautiful young ladies, working together, working hard. If I just changed one child's life, it's worth the 31 years have been worth it. We are working, we're doing very well, and it's just, I mean, it is challenging, very challenging. Some girls are on quarantine, then they're not on quarantine. It's just, they really have to work extra hard so that they can continue. I mean, it's been interesting, but the girls have been wonderful. They have adjusted to it and are working very hard, and I'm very proud of them.
Miss Butler is my hero of hope because she's most definitely my biggest motivation, especially for this year. Through COVID and everything else going on, it's really stressful, especially with it being senior year. But she's always there to make sure that we're being pushed, that we're being consistent, that we're making sure we're on top of everything that we have going on. Miss Butler is my hero of hope because she's the one, I feel like she's the one constant thing in my school life. Everything else is hectic with COVID, but the one thing I know for sure I have to go to is her. She's always there for me if I need to call her, text her. She's more than just my teacher, she's part of my family now.
Miss Butler is a sure choice for Hero of Hope for Greenville ISD. She's spent the last 30 years shaping our students. She takes in so many girls each year and makes them part of her family. The kids adore her like a mom, like a teacher. She's their mentor, she's their cheerleader. She knows what's going on in their lives. She makes sure that she knows their families. She's there with them every step of the way. This year, Miss Butler is probably more important than ever to these girls. This is a unique year, and I think Lori Butler was definitely up for this challenge.
Miss Butler is one of the kindest people that I have ever had the privilege to work with, and I'm honored to be able to call her not only a coworker, but a really good friend. She is very good at being flexible, and she has so much grace for her students and her flashes. I think Miss Butler brings a nice mark for all of us to hit and to strive to get to, because she is so Greenville oriented. And I think if everybody strived to be more like Miss Butler, the community would be even more enriched.
She is always there for everybody. She has your back no matter what, and she will fight for you. So she's such a big supporter of everybody on campus and in the district, and not only just staff, but she's amazing for the kids.
She's definitely here for the kids. She's all about the kids. She's a huge team player. You know, she's just a huge advocate for the kids, and that's important.
She just has a real passion for everything that she does. And kind of like what Shelby said, you know, she's just such a fighter, and she's always someone that you want on your team and someone that you know will back you up at all times.
The way she leads and the way she commands those girls to be the best that they can possibly be has never changed. She's never wavered.
And yes, she has grace and she's understanding and she has empathy with them, but she also still holds them to that same expectation and makes sure that they are giving their best at all times and not having excuses and not letting things get in the way of them being at their best.
You know, she's just a huge advocate for our community and for our school district, and you know, just on top of that, just being consistent, a staple in our community, you know, and that, you know, I think that's important for the kids year after year, that, you know, that there's just consistency in her program, and you know, just seeing her face every year, you know, the kids look forward to being a Flash because of her.
Lori Butler is part of the tradition of Greenville High School. It's a big deal to get to be a part of her team because it is, you know, competitive, and she's such a big part of just the tradition that they have as a Flash group.
I just think Lori is GISD. She's
For sure.
absolutely a staple of what we are and who we are and being Lions.
It means the world to me. It shows me that I'm appreciated in what I do. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for nominating me to be the Hero of Hope. I know that all of you that nominated me, you should be sitting in my seat because you do all the heavy hitting. I show up to work to a job that I love, and my girls make it easy, and my principal, Mr. Jarvis, makes it easy. And I just appreciate each and every one of you, and just know that I also know that you are very well deserved too.
Miss Butler is our hero of hope!
Yay.
No, Lori's out there watching. You deserve it, Lori.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Do you want to say a word? I wasn't sure if that was you.
Yes, it's me. I just want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me that y'all chose me. And I'm just a little overwhelmed right now. So thank you all very much.
You're welcome.
Yes, we love you, Miss Butler. Congratulations.
I love all of you.
Congratulations, Miss Butler.
Thank you very much.
All right. Moving on. Open forum. Oh, here we go. Members of the public who desire to make comments related to this meeting were asked in the meeting notice to email their comments to comments@greenvilleisd.com by 12:30 today. The written comments will be read verbatim to the board. At this time, do we have any comments that were submitted? Okay, then we won't read them. So, next, comments from individual board members. Ms. Trina. Thank you. I guess I'll take this opportunity to say I remember 13 and a half years ago when I first ran for the board, and I told people I wasn't making any campaign promises, and I didn't say I had all the answers because I didn't really even know what the questions were. So I have to say I've learned an awful lot in that amount of time about education and about myself. I've enjoyed a vast majority of it. There were some bumpy patches. Jana, I'm sorry I'm not getting to meet you in person, but you're joining a fantastic board. There is nobody who wants you to be successful in this position more than I do. So please, if there's anything I can ever do to help you, please call me. Everybody's got my number. And yes, this is a great board. The best thing I can say about it, or the most important thing to me, is that we do have a very diverse board. diverse in perspective, diverse in lots of different ways. And I heard it once said that if we weren't diverse, we wouldn't need 7 of us. So I think that is definitely a strength for the board. And I've really appreciated getting to know everybody, the people here sitting here today and the people who came before. Dr. Liggins, it's been an honor. I'm continually amazed with the grace and energy that you bring to the Greenville ISD journey.
Thank you.
And am always impressed with the team that you have put together and appreciate their efforts in carrying on. I told Todd before I came, it's not the same scale by any means, but this feels kind of like when you drop your kid off at college. You know, you put a lot of time and energy into it, and then you go, okay, go on, be wonderful, keep in touch. It's kind of the same stuff, but I know that y'all will carry on, and it'll be awesome. And let me know if I can do anything to help you. And with that, you can carry on with your.
Anyone else have a comment before you go? I'd like to say something too. Alrighty, well, Dr. Butcher, in honor of your decade plus of service to this board and your exemplary leadership, it is an honor to present you with an engraved clock. It represents the time and energy you have committed to Greenville ISD and for always keeping us focused on what's best for all of our students. Through good times and some challenging times, you've been brave, loyal, and fearless. You lead with a tremendous amount of heart, and it has been a privilege and blessing to work with you. Thank you to our retiring board president for Greenville ISD School Board, Dr. Kim Butcher.
Awesome. Thank you. I will hold you like this. Thank you so much. I will find a place of honor in my home for this.
Appreciate you. And you guys hear me okay? I guess I can't hear myself. So at this point, we are doing the swearing in of the new members' oath of office. Each member has been asked to complete the 3 that are here and the Ms. Stevens online to complete a form before you're sworn in. Have you done that? If so, I will take those, and if you will stand in front of the computer, we will have Ms. Bird swear you in. She will be in front of the computer because Ms. Stevens will be sworn in on the computer as well, so she needs to be in the camera. Okay. Justin.
Office of Greenville Independent School District Board of Trustees.
Of Greenville Independent School District Board of Trustees.
District
5.
Of the state of Texas.
Of the state of Texas.
And I will do my best, I apologize, and I will do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
And do the best of my ability to preserve, protect, the Constitution.
And laws of the United States.
And laws of the United States.
And of the state.
And of the state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
There you go.
Congratulations. Now you need to fill this out, and it has to be
I'll notarize it.
notarized by Ms. Bird.
Yes, ma'am. If you just want to sign it, Mr. Rackley's desk, that's fine, and then I'll have you sign my notary.
And Ms. Stevens, you can do
Sign up, use this one.
the one online. electronic signature.
Yes. It's just the one page, yes, ma'am. And then she'll sign that for me.
And we have some family members here. If you guys wanted to take pictures, you're more than welcome. Okay.
Oh, did I not do the place right up there? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. No, that's not what. Thank you very much.
At this time, it is, since our board president has resigned and left, the board will need to nominate a president pro tem to conduct the call of the board's reorganization. Okay. Pro tem. I have a motion by Ms. Woodruff, a second.
I'll second.
Second by Roger. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, I have the power. Okay. The According to the Greenville ISD Board Operating Procedures, the board shall elect a president, vice president, and secretary who shall be members of the board. The board may assign a district employee to provide clerical assistance to the board, and officers may be elected by the majority vote of the members present and voting. Additionally, board officers shall serve for a term of 1 year until a successor is elected, and officers may succeed themselves in office if that's desirable each year by the board. Each officer shall perform any legal duties of the office and other duties as required by the board. And finally, the board president or vice president can hold office without, they cannot hold office without serving, well, that changed, can hold office without serving a minimum of 1 year on the board prior to election. And board policy states that at the regular board meeting after the election, the reorganization of the board will move forward. So at this time, I will entertain a motion or nomination for a board president for the following year.
Dr. Liggins, I'd like to nominate Trina Stafford as the board president for the 2021 school district.
Yes, sir. I have a nomination by Mr. Rackley for Trina Stafford. Is there a second? Second by Ann Haynes. I guess we'll have discussion, or do you even accept the nomination? Would you be willing to serve? I guess we gotta ask that too. Okay, well, I think the way it will work is we will have to vote on one, and if it fails, then vote on another. Does that make sense? So at this point, we have one nomination, a second. Any more discussion about that one nomination? Let me get Stevens on the screen so I can see her vote. Oh, there she is. Okay, so at this point, all in favor of the nomination of Trina Stafford as president of the board, show of hands, please. 3. All opposed? Roger, what is your hand doing? Okay. And what, I can't see. Did you raise either time, Ms. Stevens?
I did the first time, sorry. You couldn't see my hand.
Oh, so who did you raise your hands for?
Trina Stafford.
Oh, you did? Okay, I'm sorry. Then I have a problem. See why I'm not president? Okay, so you raised your hand for Trina. So it was 4 and 3 against. Okay, with that being the case, the motion carries. Congratulations, Ms. Stafford. You are the president of the board. And I will let you now conduct the rest of the officers. I don't think it's your thing on. We can't hear her. Are you off mute?
Now, okay. At this time, we need nominations for the position of vice president of the board.
I'd like to nominate myself.
Okay. Are there any other? Well, okay. Is there a second? Okay. Is there any discussion, further discussion? Okay. All those in favor of electing Roger Livingston as board vice president, please raise your hand or say aye. Okay. Those opposed, same sign. Okay. Jana, I can't. I guess I need to get your picture. I can't see you. Did you say? Did you raise your hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Well, then expand it. Okay. Okay. Well, I was gonna see Jana. She's the one I need to see. Okay, Jana. Okay, I can see you now, Jana. Hello. Welcome to the board. Well, by a unanimous vote, Roger Livingston is elected vice president of the board. Okay, now we need to elect a secretary of the board of trustees. Are there any nominations for secretary?
I'm nominating Ms. Woodruff.
Okay. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. A motion by Roger and a second by Aletha. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of Tish Woodruff as being secretary of the board of trustees for this rest of this school year, please raise your hand or please say aye. Okay, looking at Jana, she's raised her hand. So by a unanimous vote, Tish, you are secretary of the board. Here comes your first assignment. Yeah. No, that's only for closed session. Yeah. So I'll help you a little bit the first couple times, but you'll be fine. Okay, at this time, we can reseat the board. That means if you want to change your seat, that's fine. We can switch it up or we can stay like we are. That's up to you all. I think I don't want to unplug or mess anything up.
I think with technology, we should just
Yeah, we'll just do it this way for today. Okay. All right. Next. I'm not having much luck today with my computer. It's not moving. Okay, very fast. Shannon has to do it. Okay.
Okay. Next on the agenda is our first report card public hearing.
Yes. Okay.
For this section, I'd like to call our Chief Financial Officer, Sherry Dotson.
Good afternoon, Dr. Liggins, President Stafford, and members of the board. I'd like to present to you the first report. It is 1920 rating based on 1819 data. There's 15 indicators and there's a score A through F. Go to the next PowerPoint, please. Next. And on the next slide, we're going to go over the indicators. Next slide, we have indicator 1. And that is, was the annual financial report filed within 30 days? And that was either a pass or a fail. We passed that. Let's go to the next slide. Indicator 2A, was there an unmodified opinion of the financial report? And that was also a pass. Next slide, indicator 2B. Did the annual financial report not disclose any material weakness? That was also a pass. Indicator 3. Was the district in compliance with payments for all the debt agreements? That was a pass. Indicator 4. Did the district make timely payments to TRS, the Texas Workforce Commissioner, the IRS? That was a pass. Indicator 5. That indicator is not being scored this year. Indicator 6. Was the number of days of cash on hand in the current investments in the general fund enough to cover our operating expenditures? You get anywhere from a 0 to 10, 10 being the maximum points. We received all 10 points on that. Indicator 7. Was the measure of current assets to current liability ratio enough to cover all of the short-term debt? We received 10 points on that, the max number. Indicator 8. Was the ratio of long-term liabilities to total assets for the school enough to support long-term? We received max points of 10 on that. Indicator 9. Did the school district's general fund revenues equal or exceed expenditures? Our revenues were plenty to cover our expenditures, so we received the max of 10 points on that. Indicator 10. Was the debt service coverage ratio enough to meet the requirements due for debt service? We received the max number of points of 10 on that. Indicator 11. Was the district's administrative cost ratio less than the threshold ratio? We also received the max points of 10 for that indicator. Indicator 12. Did the school district not have the 15% decline in the student to staff ratio over a 3-year period? We received max points of 10 for that. Indicator 13. Did the comparison of the PEMS data to like information in the annual report, was there a variance that's less than 3% of expenditures per function? Max points was 10. We received 10 points for that. Indicator 14. Did the external independent auditor indicate on the annual financial report, was it free of any non-compliance for grants, contracts, anything related to local and state federal funds? We received the max number of points 10. And the last indicator, indicator 15, did the school district not receive any adjustment on the repayment that would create any financial hardship for the foundation school program? We received the max number of points of 10. And then we'll go to the next slide. So our rating for the Greenville ISD first results, we received an A. The max number of points you can get is 100, and we were successful this year, and we achieved all 100 points. Now I would like to look at some prior year comparisons. We'll go to my last slide. So as you can see here, this shows you the last 5 years where we had 100 this year. I had looked back in prior years, and this is the first time that I see that we have achieved 100 on that. And the entire first report is available online, Greenville ISD website under Department, Finance, and Schools First Report. And that is all I have. Does anyone have any questions?
Hearing none, thank you, Sherry, for the outstanding job that you've done. It looks like we're in great shape for this year, and I appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Actually, we all appreciate all your hard work. Are there any public comments to be? Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this from the public? Again, hearing none, we will close the hearing for the Texas First Report. Superintendent's report. Dr. Liggins.
Thank you. I'm on mute. Thank you very much. For the superintendent's report, let's move on, Shannon, to the next slide. Start out by saying we had a phenomenal Veterans Day program. Of course, we were unable to do it as we normally do due to the pandemic, but we had a drive-through, and we had many of our veterans come through, and a very generous community that donated lots of giveaways that we were able to put into bags and provide to our community veterans as well as our staff. And we have a couple of veterans on the board as well, but Roger came through as a board member as well. But thank you all for your service and all of our servicemen and women. For community support, we had a great Amy and Mr. I can't believe I can't.
Gish.
Coach
Gish.
Gish, yes. We're on the Friendly and Me show, Coffee, Tea, and Friendly and Me. Just really talking about the great things that are happening in Greenville ISD, and we continue to just put our story out there. And they're always, they're huge supporters of GISD, and we were excited to have the opportunity whenever we can go and sit and talk to them about some things that are happening. Also, we gave away at the last board meeting. The board approved a resolution to give away a surplus of desks. We had exactly 100 desks picked up, and families really appreciated that and have put those to good use. I'm sure, especially as we are continuing to have kids quarantined and at home and having to cancel school. Time to time. Also, the board approved last month our partnership with CareBuy that was launched a few days thereafter, and we're continuing to strengthen that partnership and to launch it to make absolutely sure that everyone's well aware of it. So there's been a lot of marketing put into that in order for our families to understand that this is an option available to them now. Learning Connection. As you know, we received, the board approved the donation of several thousands of dollars to help our families at home. This is one particular family that came to pick up their router, to have a parent that came to pick up the router to have internet connection at home. And we've had distributed over 30 routers for at home internet and over 350 hotspots. And so they're going to great use in helping our kids learn when they're at home and not able to come to school. We did have a student spotlight. The Herald Banner spotlighted our own Michael Surface, who is the son of our band, not our choir director, Scott Surface, but he is a athlete as well as a very good singer in our choir and multiple of our choirs. And so he was highlighted in the Herald Banner this past month. And we had a student, a cadet, Keelan Smith, and she was awarded a plaque and $100 cash prize she wrote for disabled veterans, American Veterans Essay Contest. And she wrote a essay entitled "A House Divided Cannot Stand." And we were blessed to have her receive that award and give Greenville ISD a little bit of recognition as well in our NJROTC program. And we had our State of the District earlier this month. It was well attended it was put on by the Chamber of Commerce. As you will see, the centerpieces were donated by our FFA Floral Design Department, and those were giveaways at the end of the event. And we really did a great job as well of creating a video to share with all of our the participants to show what our kids were doing. And finally, for athletics, we have football has made it to the playoffs, as well as volleyball is in the playoffs. Volleyball's first game is in Louisville this Thursday, and we have 2 games still left before the playoffs begin for football. And golf is still playing in their winter tournaments, and boys and girls basketball is well underway as well, and they're not quarantined. And the GMS, Greenville Middle School sports, were canceled until the end of the Thanksgiving break to ease on transportation and burden to parents. And that is it for my report. Thank you.
Okay. How many deaths do we still have left? Do you know after the 100 were given?
Probably about 200. And so we very well may open it back up
Try it again. I
Yeah,
was
see
gonna.
Yeah, we had some confusion with the address in the very beginning. We fixed that, and so we're thinking about opening it back up again to
Okay.
allow parents to still come out and do that.
I think that would be a good idea. Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to the next thing. District operation during COVID. Are you giving that report, or is our nurse doing
I'm
it?
given that. That's just a standing, as you know, on Wednesday, Sunday, we made the call to close the district. I did want to take some time to tell you what goes into that decision and what ultimately happens when we did get some criticism that it was later than people would have liked. And so, and every situation is a little different. I will tell you for this, I got a call about 1 o'clock in the afternoon from our director of health services saying that it appeared to be in district spread. We had cases on every single campus with the exception of one, and cases were continually coming in. And it was the recommendation to shut down the district in order to stop the spread. Thought it was perfect timing considering we have a break coming up next week, and said so if we can get a full 14 days in to possibly stop the spread, it will help alleviate and mitigate the continual attenuation of the virus in our schools. At that point, in that particular time, I wanted to see how that was impacting all departments. So I called curriculum department and ask what's going on with curriculum for the following week. How would, if a closure happened, what would occur? What would be our process for moving forward? What would need to be done? Spoke with, called human resources to talk about substitutes to see what the issue is with there. And so really went through and called individual departments to find out how would a closure impact them versus not. At that point, after speaking to everyone individually, called an actual Zoom meeting with all of those people to discuss all things and what was happening in all the different departments throughout the school system. And ultimately, after that discussion, it was determined that it was probably a wise idea to go ahead and shut down classes, in-person learning for the week. At that point, then we begin to discuss communication to parents to make sure all of our bases were covered, make sure that when we sent out one communication, that it was clear, concise, and included all things so that we wouldn't send out multiple communications because it was didn't have all of the information. So at that point, we began creating a communication that would go out that talked about all the various departments and what they were doing, what would happen, which schools already had technology, which ones needed to pick up technology, and go through all of that process. And then once that was completed, a couple of drafts were done. We had to have it translated to Spanish, then it was sent out. So it takes a good while in order to finalize all of those pieces. And unfortunately, although we have I think, a pretty seamless process in place, every single situation is a little bit different. And so we wanted to for this instance, for example, we had some campuses that had already been on quarantine, so we knew those kids had their technology, but we had some that hadn't been on quarantine the previous week, so we had to figure out how to do that. And so, and then ultimately, once that communication was approved, it was sent out. During that time, I also called the board president and informed her that these discussions were going on so that it wouldn't be caught off guard. And of course, I always inform the board before the communication goes out to the entire community. And so, with all of those steps, that's ultimately why or how the process works. I would like, because I get emails from both sides, both extremes. I have people that think it's horrible that we're closing down schools, and I have people that think it's horrible that we're still open. So every time a decision's made, I get, well, thank God you closed it down. I'm surprised you waited this long to, how dare you close it down? I don't think this is a big deal. And in fact, last week I got lots of calls saying, why haven't you shut it down yet? Because we had met the 10% threshold last week. However, it was concentrated on just two campuses. So we did something with those two campuses and felt like we could continue to operate. This week we realized we had really spread ourselves very thin. We had um, robbed Peter to pay Paul as far as getting personnel, putting aides in classrooms and substitutes, and we were still short well over a dozen substitutes just with COVID issues, not to mention on Sunday afternoon, not to mention the average amount of folks who call in every single day that wake up with a sick child or have an issue that arise, and so we anticipated that we'd have dozens of classrooms without substitutes as well, and but it's never easy. I always make sure that err on the side of what's going to be best for student safety first, and then as a very second priority, very close priority is student learning. And so, but ultimately, we realized that with the quality of instruction in person would not have been nearly as quality because we also had some principals that were on quarantine, and so they were going to be able to supervise their campuses, and then with multiple subs on campuses and multiple classrooms without subs, it just ultimately in this particular case it seemed to be the right decision to make. Never an easy decision. I was very hesitant because I know that things are continuing to, and predictions are it will continue to get worse before it gets better as we go into the winter months. And I didn't want this to become our new president, so to speak. So if we get to this number, this is how it, then we're shutting down. Because I said in that case, would be shut probably till springtime. And so basically, what is ultimately said, take each situation individually, figure it out. Some instances, it may be like last week, it was 10%, but we could operate without, instead of a couple of campuses. And so each situation will be different. And I would like to promise you all, as well as our parents and community, that I will continue to try to make the best decision to put student safety first and student learning as a strong second priority. Um, but there's always going to be some people that are not happy with either, and I understand that, and that's how things are right now. But I did want to take some time to express the process of how it comes about. Any questions or discussion? No, I think you're on mute.
All right. Okay. I think it's very wise for you to do that, to change from a set number to taking each case as it comes along. That each time, each set of facts may change what you do, and I think we have enough faith in your determination about what is best for the campus and what's best for each one of these children. And I definitely think that however we can get the public to know that we do care, that we do make decisions based on the needs of the children that are in school. I think it'd be a wise thing to do.
I just have some feedback, if that's okay.
Oh, absolutely.
With a fourth grader myself, and then also my nephews in the third grade, I can only speak for those grades right now. I will tell you that it is hard to even listen to school because of all the interruptions that the teachers have to go through with the students not being online, having to correct them, having to mute them, having to do a million things. I think that Calix as a fourth grader is a little bit, she can handle it a little bit better, especially in the long, like it's a long stretch of just being online. They do have specials and they get to go away for, a few minutes, and then they have, PE and they get to go away for a few minutes, and then also lunch. But in the afternoon, it's this huge long stretch, and keeping their attention is sometimes really hard. And if I were a teacher, I would probably be in tears by the end of the day if I was teaching young kids. The third grade, my nephew, he can concentrate, but it's worse. So I don't know. I know that kindergarten through second is what, asynchronous?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so then third is not, it's synchronous, and then fourth, fifth is synchronous, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so fourth and fifth have teachers that they share with. So that's not just the load on them, but the third grade teachers don't. I think that it probably would be better. I mean, I'm just recommending this from this standpoint. I don't know how it would work for, the curriculum. I'm not telling you them how to run things, but probably if we're going to be online for a long period of time, third grade needs to be included in the asynchronous if they're not going to have some kind of, help, because that's too long for them to be on. It's just way too long. Fourth grade, because they get to swap teachers, there is a little bit of a differentiation, and I feel like it kind of like keeps their attention longer. And I don't know about fifth grade because I can't really tell you, but um, but that's just some feedback as a parent.
Thank you. And I will tell you, yeah, it's tough, and you're right. A lot of teachers are crying by the end of the day, on a regular day, for instance, but especially going home. It's been a tough year in general, and I appreciate the feedback. We're always continually trying to figure out how we can do things differently, do them better, take off as much of the stress of our teachers as we can. And so I appreciate the feedback, and definitely we'll look into it. providing some of those options for teachers.
I also wish that we could look at each campus individually instead of the district as a whole, but I get the whole idea of the substitutes and not knowing if someone's going to call in that day and have to miss because they have a kid in middle school and they have to be gone. So I understand that point of it.
Yeah, and we do. Like last week, we looked at it and we had Travis sixth grade was um, where most of our cases were, and they were not able to get subs. And I think a lot of times when subs here, a campus has been closed down, they're not interested in going and subbing there, and and so we do try to take it as individual. We've moved. I will tell principals have been very generous with. I have an extra, aide they can go sub over here for that day, and so we have been trying to. But when it gets to the point to where we were on Sunday, is it was just district wide. Just we had moved everyone where we could, and we still couldn't, as a district, fill in all of the holes. And so, but I will definitely always try to, if we have to do one campus, unfortunately, let's do that one and keep everyone else open, because it's a huge burden to parents, especially if I know on a Sunday evening and when you go to work on Monday morning and you realize your kids will be home. And so all of that's definitely, and it's, and I don't make it the decision lightly. I understand all of those factors. So thank you.
And then if you would possibly text us and let us know if you're going to close, because I didn't get your email until I'd gotten several messages from other people.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if you could just text, like sometimes you do, just to let us know ahead, because I'll have my phone with me, but I'm not checking email all the time.
Okay, perfect.
Does each teacher that have some ability to change up the classes, if you can tell the kids are getting restless, okay, let's get up and do something and, um, give them a 10-minute break of some sort?
Yes, teachers have that autonomy to do that. I think a lot of teachers, especially when you get up into third grade and above, you have a lot of teachers, and unfortunately, we have the pressures of STAR still on us, and so a lot of teachers are trying to cover their curriculum. They want to make sure their kids are prepared. They want to make sure their kids have what they need, and there is a lot of lost time elsewhere with trying to get attendance done and trying to get various things done. So what I think is happening is because so much time has been wasted in some of the procedural things that they're like, well, I know you need a break, but we have to get through this. And so it's a no-win situation. It's not, and our teachers are doing the absolute best they can with the conditions that they've been given. But we will definitely, I will get with we have a team of teachers now that seasoned teachers that have come together to help with curriculum and help during this time, and take that to them as a problem for them to chew on and give us some solutions for it.
Yeah.
And what Ms. Alita said about the disturbance, I saw it in my third grade class on yesterday. The first teacher came up there. I was sitting beside my kid. The kid sitting up there doing TikTok dances on video, and the teacher regularly trying to teach. Well, when my son's third grade class, when they changed classes, they were shocked. Mr. Moses was their math teacher. When he was in there teaching, it was all paying attention the whole time. But when they changed classes again, it was back to TikToking. It's like they show respect to the principal when he's there, but the minute he goes off camera, that she's coming there, it's like back to the same old thing, back to TikToking again. The teacher up there telling them, pay attention, pay attention. And when the minute the teacher get on, so I got to go to the bathroom, and then they back to the same thing.
Yeah, it's been a challenge. We have received notice that the code of conduct can be enforced virtually. However, that doesn't help the situation when it's happening right then, especially if the kid's at home. There's very limited you can do other than say, please stop. And so, but that is something that can be addressed through our code of conduct, fortunately.
Okay, word change.
Next is the GIF report, be given by Angie Taylor.
Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Thank y'all for letting me do this. I appreciate it. Currently, we are in G 2020, and I will tell you that last year we ended without getting to do our annual grant giveaway. And so that looked a little bit different. We were able to do it when school started. The teachers that received grants, they all came outside and we were able to present our checks and also give new teachers their $50 gift cards because that also changed the new teacher orientation. So we currently have 15 G board members. The executive board consists of Angie Taylor, president, which is me, Rosalind Lane, vice president, Michael Phillips, secretary, and Penny Perkins, treasurer. We had our annual spelling bee Friday, February 28th at Innovation First. We had 14 teams participate and several other businesses like reserve tables at $500 and $350 levels. The first place winner, and I think that they continue to be the winner, is the Spelling Bee New Horizons, the Super Spellers. The second place was the Bee Verenium Creams from GISD Special Education Department. And the third place was Hunt County Honeybees Taking Care of Business, which was sponsored by Scott Kennard. We generated approximately $9,500 in revenue for teacher grants from our fundraiser, and we gave out about $25,000 in GIF grants to teachers and staff in Greenville ISD in 2020. Like I said, our prize patrol looked a little different this year, but we were still able to do it, just not as big as we like to do it. And it's usually my favorite thing to do is to present facts and walk through the school. And, we know that it's going to look different and it's going to continue to look different until everything gets under control. We did our annual back to school blast at Splash Kingdom, where we sponsored it alongside of Remax on August 11th. And it was from 6:30 to 10:30, and the first 500 people there were able to get in free if they donated school supply. And then anything after 500 was $5 a ticket. So we were able to get new school supplies, and they were moved to the school supply closet over at New Horizons. So we were also given the $5,000 from the board, which we really appreciate. And a part of that we used to buy bottled water for all the campuses in GISD because we know that the water fountains were shut down. So as we were looking at what we could spend the money on and help the district and give back because of the COVID, that's what we decided to do. We finished our annual employee campaign in October for returning a new GISD staff that can contribute through payroll deductions. They'll be given our lunchbox, and usually we are able to do like a luncheon for the teachers where we do the Chick-fil-A meal, but this year we're not able to do that. So we have stuffed our lunch boxes with a gift card and other goodies to help get them through their day. We're also doing a drawing for 8 $50 gift cards to Walmart for anybody who is enrolled doing a payroll deduction for GIF. And that's coming up soon as well. We continue to have business partners in the community, and we also continue to get donations that help further our grants for teachers. And looking ahead, we have our annual spelling bee coming up that is we don't know what's going to happen. So we're kind of tossing around some ideas and alternative things being discussed for our spelling bee. We will be opening grants on December 11th, and they will close March 5th at noon. So that is it for us. Thank y'all again. Any questions?
I'm not hearing any, Angie. Thank you for your report.
Thank y'all.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor, and we truly appreciate your partnership. You guys do so much for everyone that contributes, which is unheard of. So I appreciate that very much. Looking forward to my lunch bag.
Thank y'all again.
I think they were supposed to get delivered tomorrow, but that kind of
Yeah.
threw a kink in the works. But, well, maybe we should consider having a board team for the spelling bee this year. We never have, but just put that idea out there. Okay, board goals. Dr. Liggins.
Yes, the board has approved goals each year. These have to be just looked at they are directly aligned, the original goals aligned with the strategic plan. Goal 1 having to do how the board will support teaching and learning. Second goal being how the board will support human resources. Third is, where's 3? Oh, funding and finance. The fourth goal being facilities, and the fifth being communication. There it goes, yes. So just wanted to see if there's any changes the board would recommend to these. They again are directly aligned with the strategic plan and how the board will support the strategic plan.
We don't. Well, it'd be nice if we could even see them. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, they were included in the board book, but usually they were approved originally, and then every year thereafter, they've just rolled over because they're still aligned to the strategic plan. I believe the strategic plan ends this year, and we'll have to complete another extension to that. But I did not print those out.
Could we have them printed out for the next meeting to really have a look at them?
Yes, I will roll that over.
Everybody bring their feedback for changes if they feel like they need to make a change.
Yes, ma'am.
I've slept since we made those. I don't have them memorized. Okay, moving on. Investment report and policy.
For this section, I would like to call our CFO, Ms. Dotson.
In addition to the quarterly investment report that's required by law, a comprehensive report on the investment program and activity shall be reviewed yearly in accordance with board policy. All investments are made by the district shall be in compliance with the Public Fund Investment Act. The report that you have to review is the exact same that it's been in prior years. The only change you will notice is the approved list of brokers. It's a bigger list this time. Last month it was approved to add the additional brokers, and I will be bringing this back to you next month for your approval. Any questions or anything?
Why are you adding additional people to the list?
Last month I brought that to board, and we added more people, so we were able to get a direct investment versus having to go through multiple layers, and then by the time it would get to us, the cost was a little bit higher on the investment versus getting the investment directly at the lowest cost, which in return gives the district a higher return on investments.
Okay, thank you. We'll look forward to hearing from you next month.
Thank you.
School Safety and Security Committee.
For this section, I would like to call our Chief of Police, Ramon Rodriguez.
Good afternoon, President Stafford, Dr. Liggins, members of the board. I'm here to request the appointment of our school board president as well as an additional school board member to our school and safety and security committee. As you well know, Senate Bill 11 was passed last summer. It requires each school district here in the state of Texas to have a school safety and security committee. Um, Again, the responsibility of this committee would be to provide recommendations to the district's board of trustees and administrators regarding updating our multi-hazard emergency operations plan. Two would be to consult with local law enforcement agencies on methods to increase law enforcement presence near our campuses. And three is to meet 3 times a year. We do have Ms. Woodruff and Mr. Livingston as current members on our committee. But due to the resignation of President Kelso earlier this year, we need to appoint our school board president and see if Mr. Livingston and Ms. Woodruff would still like to participate on our committee.
I'm seeing yeses from both of them.
Okay.
And that's fine with me too.
Okay. Thank
so
you.
that will be an official, it'll be on the consent agenda next month, just to officially approve it for another year. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez.
Yes, sir.
Consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone would like to pull from the consent agenda to talk about separately? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented. And gave the motion. Is there a second? Second by Aletha. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda as presented, raise your hand or say aye. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Is there anyone that wanted to speak on non-agenda items? Shannon, would you have that information? Okay. Nope, it's crickets from the room. So no, I think we're good then. Move on to the next thing. Do we need a closed session today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have all the stuff that needs to be read? Is that on Kim's desk?
Maybe, hold on, it may be in the middle of this. That's the consent agenda.
It's not on her desk either. Okay. Oh, you have it? Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Mark's attorney. Okay. Under Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with the board's attorney on all subjects or matter authorized by law. A, consider legal advice regarding personnel issues, or B, consider legal advice regarding any agenda action item. Point 2, Texas Government Code Section 551.074 for the purpose of considering the appointment, employment, resignation, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, upon termination or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Closed session pursuant to section 551.074 of the Texas Government Code to deliberate the appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. At 1:45, we will go into closed session. Okay, 1:40. Okay, well, we still need to have Jana.
Yeah.
She's still in?
Yeah, she should be. She'll be the only one left in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still here.
Can you
Yeah.
hear us, Miss Stevens?
Yes, I can.
Because Jana's virtual, so Jana's virtual, so she will need. Okay.
for the officers?
Yeah, there's a board members. Well, that of course that's in June. At summer leadership.
Yeah, I will look into two because there may be Tisha.
Well, I begged for years. Every year at summer leadership, they want feedback, and I say, please have one for secretaries so we know what to do. And a couple of years ago, by golly, they had one. But
Finally.
it was just one session, but it was like, well, that's better than nothing. But okay, thank you. Okay. We are back in open session at 2:13. We do have one item to vote on. Personnel new hires. We need a motion for the personnel.
I so move.
Okay. Mike made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Roger, second. All in favor, please raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we wanted to talk about, I know there's some other things on here, future agenda items.
I have one thing that's due is the failure rate for online versus in person. That will probably be in this Sunday's heads up. We just last week finished testing. This week I'm having individual meetings with principal teams to talk about all of that data, and I will get that out this Sunday to you all. And
Okay.
I also have a note to roll over the board goals for next month. So that will also be an agenda item next month.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to add to our list? Okay. Training. I know that's coming up. Team of 8 training.
Yes, we have to have an annual team of 8 training. Historically, it's been done during the summer because in case there's a changeover in the board in May. This year, decided to wait to do it because we knew an election was coming up in November. And so during the week of January 11th through the 15th, Miss a lady with TASB, she does the new board orientation. And her name escapes me right now.
Catherine?
Catherine.
Catherine Douglas.
Yes, Miss Douglas.
Oh, she's
Yes.
awesome.
Yes. And so she's willing to do and I try to make our team of 8 training fun, interactive. It has a 3-hour required training every year. And you're right, Miss Douglas is, she's a hoot. And
Yeah.
so, but she's available that week. And so I wanted to know a specific day that's off limits to anyone, or is there a preferred day particularly that you would like to have that training?
Which day, which week are we talking about?
January 11th through the 15th.
Are you talking about Kay Douglas or Catherine?
Hey Douglas,
Hey.
Hey Douglas, yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to be online during that training.
Okay.
So my wife is due around that time frame.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, well. Well, should we just get in the habit of scheduling things on Tuesdays?
Is this during the day or is this
No,
an evening?
It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
I have a commitment on Monday night of that week. My normal water board meeting would be that Monday. So any other time though, I think I'm okay.
Jana, do you have Do you have anything that you know of?
No, so I'm pretty open. I can do day or evening. So
Okay, okay.
The only thing I have is I probably have board meetings that week on Tuesday and Wednesday night, but they don't start until one starts on Tuesday starts at 5:30 and the one on Wednesday starts at 7.
So do we want to go with Tuesday during the day?
Works for me.
Anyone
that works
opposed?
for me.
Works for me.
Okay, so that's Tuesday the 12th, January 12th, daytime meeting. I think she's out of
Huntsville.
Huntsville. Okay, so she'll be traveling in, so I will see what time works best for her during the day and get back with you guys.
I like her. She keeps your attention the whole
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That day's easy for me to remember. That's my daughter's birthday.
All right.
My sister-in-law's birthday. Okay. Shannon, is there anything else on the other two screens that we haven't? I don't think so.
Yeah, that's it. We're at adjournment.
That's it. Okay. Well, if there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 2:19. Bam. Okay. See you next month. Have a happy Thanksgiving.